Okay, in this video, what we're going to talk about is the left bottom corner categories. Now, I want you to think of this as your full catalog of categories that you can use for all of your classes. It's not just for the classes selected at the top. We'll drill down in later in some of the setup where you can say for my period 1 class I'm only going to use homework and projects, but my period 2 class I will do quizzes and tests as well. But so that's at a later point in time. But think of the categories on the start screen of the gradebook as my full set of all categories possible. So if I click on this and I double click homework, it's going to pull up some information about it. So I've got a homework, I've got an abbreviation, I've got a default color, which is going to be nice because in the gradebook, when you're adding assignments, it's going to color code the columns based on what type of assignment or what category it is. Okay. It's going to be a default points possible. So for example, if the majority of your homework is 10 points, leave this points possible at 10, and then you'll only have to change it if you've got a homework that's more. Okay. We want extra points set to 0 unless that homework has a potential for 5 extra credit points. Okay, and we can, that's a default here in this setting, but I'll show you when you add an assignment later how you can add extra credit in there. Okay, this is the score type where whether it's a points, percentage, or just a letter grade. Most likely you're going to leave that at points. This is where there's going to be included in their final grade. And then this publish assignments is immediately. So if I add it, if I leave this as is and I create an assignment later and I say it's in the category of homework, it's going to publish that homework information is out on the parent portal immediately. It's not going to do it till at a later date, on a specific date, or on the due date. It's going to do it immediately. But you also want to watch this published scores. You're probably going to want to check this so that as you start entering scores for that assignment, that they're automatically show on the parent grade viewer. If you don't, then it's not going to publish and display until you actually do it on the individual assignment. So I would recommend you do that checkbox there. Okay? And I would go through each of these and take a look at them. I'm going to check all of those. Okay? So now let's say I want to add a new category. The way you would do that is you're going to click the plus icon right here. And I've got homework, project, quiz, and test. Let's think of a new one here. What if we wanted to create a category called formative assessment? And we call it FA. And we can give it a color of, let's see, green is not being used. And points possible, let's say its default is 10. But what if I do not want to include in the final grade because it's a formative assessment and I don't want to include it in there? I never want to publish it to the parent portal. It's just for my tracking purposes. And I click OK. Now I've got a new category called formative assessment. I can add assignments right in the gradebook that's not going to count towards the final grade or any other points. So it's a pretty cool little feature. So you can add as many categories as you want in here, but I would add them, and then I would also double check all of the default ones and make sure that we set publish scores immediately and publish scores checkbox unless you specifically want that off. Okay, that concludes the category video. We'll go through another option in the next one.